Do you guys have any idea how unbelievably lucky we are to be living in these times right now? I mean, seriously, let's put all the bullshit aside, just for this video at least. All of our focus on what's going on politically, economically, or whatever else might seem like the end of times in the world right now. I guess you could say it is the end of times, but not the end of the world, that's for sure. It's the end of the world as we know it. I think it's super important that we spread this information on what is really going on. And you'll see why I say that soon enough. So, in this video, I'll give you a couple different perspectives about the amazing times that we're living in right now and where we're headed. Vibration. Everything in this world appears to be solid matter. I mean, why would it not? You touch yourself, you're solid, right? If I were to knock on this wall, it's solid. But what's crazy is the biggest illusion of all, that it's not actually, it's energy in motion. Maybe you've heard someone say before that we live in a holographic universe, or we live in a hologram. Well, as crazy as it sounds, it's true. When you hear people say things like, your vibe attracts your tribe, or I don't like her vibe, well, those statements are actually true as well. We vibrate at different frequencies depending on many things, including things like how we take care of ourselves, the thoughts that go on inside our heads, the foods that we consume, the environment that we surround ourselves with, how often we're doing what we really love to do, and way too many more things to list. We want to vibrate at higher and higher frequencies so that we can not only just maintain our health, but so we can be able to heal and regenerate our bodies faster and more efficient than ever. So that we can feel more connected to everything around us. And to develop a strong connection to God or Source, and or the spirit realm, which all vibrates at much higher frequencies than the average human being currently does. And again, those are just a few examples of what's really possible when raising your frequency and vibration. Now, I just want everyone to understand something, that when you're of a lower vibration, it is nearly impossible to be and do good in life, no matter how hard you try. But when you're of a higher vibration, love, compassion, success, optimism, and creativity, those things tend to come naturally to you. So instead of looking at things maybe in life like she's good and he's bad, look at things in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Let's take the judgment out of it. So now that we have a basic understanding of that, it's important that we discuss how Earth's frequency is currently raising and what that means for Earth itself and for all of us. Now, since the frequency of the Earth is raising, that means that everyone on Earth is also raising in frequency. Everything, for that matter. Now, this is causing a major purge of everything that's of lower density and lower vibration inside of each and every one of us to be brought to the surface and worked through and done away with for good. Now, this could affect you in many ways, including physical conditions, emotional upheavals, instability, discomforts, and confusion. Those are just a few things. Perhaps, with all the madness going on in the world right now, at an all-time high, maybe, just maybe, this is all part of the deep cleansing of the planet and is part of the divine plan. Now, just how quickly we can integrate the new energy and adjust to it will depend solely on the level of each individual's vibratory frequency. It feels as if we're almost being guided in a way, divinely, to do everything in our power to raise our vibration out of these lower densities of hate, anger, and deception, and into these higher frequencies of love, unity, and compassion. We're being pushed to evolve, whether we want to or not. Back in 2013, the Earth was vibrating at about 7.8 hertz. On January 31st, 2017, the first time in history, the Schumann resonance reached frequencies of 36 plus hertz, which is absolutely unheard of and definitely a big deal. The Earth is literally speeding up, and just as it may have disturbances trying to adjust to these new energies, we will as well. Now, the various symptoms that people have been experiencing over the past few years as our bodies align with this huge energy shift taking place are known as ascension symptoms. So, if life has been turned upside down, you feel strange and not like yourself, maybe unstable and ungrounded, depressed, fatigued, dizzy, you are not alone. Now, to explain this even further from an astrological standpoint, just keep in mind, just as I'm no physicist, I'm also not an astrologer. So I'll explain this to the best of my ability. Now, we are currently crossing over from what's known as the Age of Pisces into the Age of Aquarius. And no, the Age of Aquarius is not just a song from the 60s. A new age begins every 2,150 years or so. So this, once again, is a very rare and amazing time to be alive. We are actually living through the dawning of a new age. With the changing of ages and a whole new zodiac sign, our values and the way that we all live our lives is also changing, which is causing lots of chaos and upheaval. A big value of the Piscean age was money, power, and control. No surprise. Which all must be replaced because they completely conflict with the values of the Age of Aquarius, which is compassion, love, unity, togetherness, and integrity. Now, these changes are very gradual, and you can look back in history and probably notice times where you can really begin to see the values from the Age of Aquarius shining through, like the peace, love, and flower power hippie movement in the 60s and 70s. Now, we're moving into times where what's good for the whole is mandatory, pushing out the times of hidden agendas and self-serving behaviors. Did you know that the fall of Rome happened at the beginning of the Age of Pisces? Well, as with all beginnings and endings and times of great change, things must be dismantled and broken down before they can be reinvented and rebuilt on a strong foundation. Now, although the Age of Pisces began with a tragedy, that doesn't necessarily mean that it will be a precedent. And I think the last thing that we need to be doing is having fear that something like that may occur, because we ultimately help to co-create our own reality. In my opinion, I foresee wonderful new beginnings, including some of the following. A new generation of innovators that have already began and will continue to increase in numbers, who will help to create a new and sustainable earth for all to flourish on. A society that cares more for the planet and all of its inhabitants. An end to animal cruelty. The end of war, hate, and inequality. Living 100% local, meaning only purchasing locally sourced items and foods, and restaurants serving only farm-to-table meals. An awareness of our true nature as spiritual beings, and the end of religious separation. The end of political indifference and the rise of global unity. An end to the use of fossil fuels and earth resource depletion. A ban on genetically modified foods, pesticides, and geoengineering. So I urge you to stand up and be the change that you wish to see in the world, and join in on this movement to welcome in the new Age of Aquarius. You can start rebuilding the new earth today, but first the change has to start within. Thanks again for watching this video.